Okay, this is a video about rotational symmetry. And the question is, if I rotate a shape, can I make it map back onto itself? So for example, we've got this isosceles triangle here. And the key is, can it rotate of less than 360 degrees? So if I rotate this guy less than 360 degrees, does it map back on to itself? And for this one, the answer is no. This one does not have any rotational symmetry because I have to turn it all the way around before it maps back onto itself. The equilateral triangle does have rotational symmetry. If I rotate 60 degrees, this point will now be here, this point will be moved here, and this point will be moved here. So this has rotational symmetry a few times over. It's got it at 60 degrees. And let's see, that's not going to be 60 degrees, 120 degrees. If I go 120 degrees, then this point is going to overlap, and I go 120 degrees again, and it overlaps again. So that one does have rotational symmetry. Is there some degree that you could rotate this shape to make it land on itself again? And that you really got to be able to use your imagination and mentally visualize rotating the shape. This one does have rotational symmetry at 180 degrees. Because if I rotate 180, it'll fall on itself. And this hexagon, I think this one does have 60-degree rotational symmetry. Because every time I rotate this 60 degrees, it is going to fall right on itself. It's going to land, look like an identical shape. So if you can rotate it some number of degrees, less than 360, and have it look identical to the original shape, then you've got rotational symmetry. And maybe I can pull up, here is this triangle. So you can see I rotate it, boom. So not 60 degrees, but if I rotate it all the way around, oh, well, it's not going to go to 120 for me. But I've rotated it 120 degrees, and it is now, looks exactly the same. Keep going, rotate it another 120 degrees, and boom, it looks exactly the same. So that is rotational symmetry. Let's use a square. This has rotational symmetry at 90 degrees, because if I rotate it 90 degrees, it looks exactly the same. And I can rotate it again 90 degrees, and it looks exactly the same. So that is rotational symmetry. And I'm limited in my shapes here. There's an octagon. Octagon, if I rotate, oh, doesn't let me rotate the octagon. Oh yeah, there we go. If I rotate it 45 degrees, I think, it looks exactly the same. Every 45-degree rotation looks exactly the same. So this is rotational symmetry.